All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we aren't just staring at a list of questions. No, we are locking ourselves inside a literal mental escape room. I'm absolutely thrilled to guide you through this, because today, we're going to look at the incredibly fascinating ways our own brains can be easily tricked, completely misdirected, and ultimately, delightfully surprised. Think of this whole thing as a much-needed workout for your cognitive reflexes. So, are you ready?
Okay, let's dive right in with a really quick test. What has to be broken before you can use it? You've got 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. It's an egg! Did you get it? Hey, if you stumbled, don't even worry about it. That simple little trick is exactly the kind of cognitive misdirection we're going to be unpacking today. See, our brains are literally hardwired to associate the word broken with useless or ruined. The riddle forces a sudden, jarring bypass of that standard logic.
Paradox puzzles. Let's get into it. Here's riddle number 5 from the source document. What gets wetter the more it dries? I'll give you a beat to play along. Just think about the physical action described here.
And the answer is a towel. Huge congratulations if you locked that one in, but honestly, let's look at why this actually makes our brain just pause for a second. The crucial mechanism here, the whole secret sauce, is that a paradox riddle works because our brains really struggle with two opposing concepts happening at the exact same time. Wet and dry, they're antonyms, right? They cancel each other out in normal, everyday logic. To solve it, your brain has to physically shift its perspective from the object receiving the action to the object performing the action. It's like a mental gymnastics routine. And actually, this exact same cognitive flip is why riddle number 6 from our source, I am tall when young, short when old, works so perfectly for a candle. Because, well, we associate aging with growing up, not melting down.
Moving right along to section 2, personifying inanimate everyday objects.
Okay, look at how this visual really maps out the author's misdirection here. When we hear a word like hands, our immediate neurological reflex brings up an image of human fingers and palms. We definitely don't naturally think of the face of a clock, which happens to be the answer to riddle 7. And when riddle 13 asks what has teeth but cannot bite, that biological threat of biting totally distracts us from the harmless plastic of a comb. We see the exact same trick with the eye of a needle in riddle 9 and the neck of a bottle in riddle 12. Our brain is just completely obsessed with the human form. So, let's see how well you can fight off those biological cues. This is riddle number 2. I speak without a mouth, hear without ears. What am I? Notice how those really strong biological words, mouth, ears, they're actively trying to pull you away from the acoustic reality of the answer.
It's an echo. Keep tracking your mental score. How are you doing so far? I bet you're doing great. We are really starting to see the invisible strings these riddles are pulling, aren't we? Which brings us to section 3. Grasping the intangible and abstract.
Let's rapid fire through a few of these to keep you on your toes. Riddle 3. The more you take, the more you leave behind. Answer: footsteps. Riddle 11. What goes up but never comes down? Your age. And riddle 14. What can fill a room but takes up absolutely no space? Light. I love these because they brilliantly demonstrate how our brain fundamentally struggles to quantify non-physical concepts. We naturally just want to measure things by volume or weight, you know? So when the answer is a measurement of time, a physical action, or literal photons, our standard logic engine just kind of stalls out.
But let's slow down for a second and look at riddle number 10. What belongs to you but others use it more? Now, I challenge you to step away from the concept of physical possessions entirely here. Think about social constructs instead.
It is your name. There is almost always a massive aha moment with this one. It's just so satisfying because the shift from tangible ownership, like, say, a car or a smartphone, to intangible identity, it completely rewires how you were viewing the question just seconds before.
All right, on to section 4, mastering puns and wordplay.
This brilliantly shows how the source text organizes these linguistic tricks into 3 distinct little traps. First up, literalism. Riddle 20 asks, what has words but never speaks? A book. It weaponizes literal interpretation against our expectation of a living, breathing speaker. Next is dual meaning. Riddle 4 asks, what has keys but no locks? A piano. That completely relies on the dual meaning of the word key, musical keys versus the keys you use for your front door. And finally, the concept twist. Riddle 15 asks, what is so fragile that saying its name breaks it? Silence. The very act of answering destroys the concept itself. I mean, that is just linguistic perfection. Let's test your linguistic reflexes right now with another rapid-fire delivery. Ready? Riddle 8 travels the world staying in one corner, a postage stamp. Riddle 17, room with no doors or windows, a mushroom. Riddle 18, what can you catch but not throw? A cold. If you spotted those puns immediately, wow, your linguistic processing speed is definitely in top form today.
And finally, Section 5, your final brain teaser. Think of this as the ultimate boss level.
Here is riddle number 19. What is always ahead of you but can't be seen? I'm going to leave a slightly longer pause for you to really ponder this one. Think about the abstract, think about direction.
The answer is the future. It's just a fantastic encapsulation of everything we've talked about today, using spatial framing for a purely temporal concept. So now that you've seen firsthand how easily your logic can be hacked by simple words, ask yourself this: how much of your everyday reality is just a linguistic trick your brain hasn't quite solved yet? Keep that curiosity sharp, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.